So my cousin went to Santa Ana College. I was in Seattle for Shoreline Community College when I was 16. I went there for a special program that they had over. So it was called High School Completion Program. So I went straight to community college when I was 16. But at the time, I really wanted to transfer to a UC. But as an international student, it's pretty hard. Like the admission rate for a UC for an international student is a little bit low. So I was thinking about transferring to another California community college that would increase my chance of, getting in. So my cousin said, go to Santa Ana College that she went to. So I was like, yeah, why not? To be honest, it was my very first 2 year was within COVID. So I didn't get to go to the school. But my very first year of going on campus, our international student office got remodeled. So it was very, very new. Everything was like, innovative. It was very modern. The office was very beautiful, just all glasses, all white. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And then I went in there and I saw no receptionist, like a front desk person. So I asked, an advisor there who was good out. And then she said, there's no one there. So she said, do you want to work over there? So I was like, yeah. So that's how I started. Yes, specifically that year because we just got out of COVID. So Miss Junko, Miss Dow was very, very supportive. They helped me a lot, especially, keeping my status because that was one of the most, important aspects for an international student at the time. They was also helping me with, developing my leaderships, after school. So any events they went to, they brought me over, especially Miss Junko. She brought me to a lot of community events that herself personally went to. She put me on stage, working in front of the mic and put me in front of, a lot of public audience in order for me to develop my public speaking skills that I didn't even expect it from her as an advisor at the school. So that was both hands-on and, very theoretical learning from Santa Ana College that had given to me. It was pretty scary at first because she never told me that I would be public speaking at the time. She was just asking me to be a volunteer there, to meet with a lot of leaders and then company business owners at the time for me, because I was a business administration major. So she wanted me to meet with those business owners for me to ask for advice from them and then, how to network. And then at the end of the event, she just, hey, Karley, I need you to speak, 30 seconds to 1 minute about introduce yourself, about what you do at Santa Ana College. And I was like, really? Like I didn't prepare anything, and I wasn't even, like doing such thing at Santa Ana College. So, which is my major, what experiences I have, what classes I'm taking, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, it was a very good opportunity to have that. Like she did not tell me in advance. That helped me, brainstorm and adapt. Like very constantly. I would say my international student clubs was like the one that we used to socialize, so I didn't know. The only thing that I'm thinking of on the top of my head would be the student government, because they do a lot of like just events in general for students, like welcome event at the beginning of a semester, fuel for, like finals or midterms, or just a lot of projects that cater towards our student throughout the whole semester. So I like networking and talking to a lot of student government people just to get to know what events are happening. I would say I can't think of it on the top of my head right now because it's been 4 years. I would say we usually go LA because I have a car myself. I think we do have a park that close by, just like 5 minute drive from Santa Ana College that I usually play basketball with my friends. So we took ourselves, like me and my friends at the time from the International Student Association go to that park like after school to play basketball, and we're just like hanging around there. Even if the food we brought it over there just to eat. So I like that park a lot. I forgot what the name is, but that's how we bonded. On the top of my head right now, first thing is caring because we're so close, tight. like very, like very knitted. It was not as overwhelming as I transferred to UCI. So people were, very caring as we see each other on a daily basis. Especially, it's easier for me to find friends. So it's carrying both way from, advisor to us and between ourselves as friends because, the school is small. It's easier to, make friends with someone else and it's easier for the advisor to keep us up with any updates about the status, any updates about the school curriculum that we can do. So that's the first thing that I that comes to my head. Second thing I love the most about Santa Ana College is the basic needs care. So we have a Thrive Center like right next to International Student Association. And sometimes like when we had lunch, we just went over there to like find what is available for us. Like the whole group of international student us would just walk down the stair and go to the Thrive Center and then, just get whatever we have and then go back in to have lunch together. So I really love that how they care about our food or basic needs, what items are available on there. The third thing, it would just circle back to caring. So I would just give, examples on this. Everything is very fast. It moves very fast in the way that, I schedule classes, I talk to people. I would say like we have very few students, but like it's a decent amount that is controllable or it's manageable, even if, something that's exceptional that is happening, like, you fell back after a deadline of registration for class, we can still talk to the professor and, ask, hey, is it okay for a student to catch up with this thing? And then the professor will be like, yes, it still can. So everything is very fast and it doesn't have to go through a lot of paperwork approvals, I would say. And then it was very easy for us to like help each other in that way. I love the international student office the most because during my year, I told you like we have very few students at the beginning of my year working at the as the receptionist. After that semester, we have a new load of student coming in, and we have orientation, and we started bonding since the orientation because it was Miss Dow's birthday, I believe, and then we celebrated her birthday on the orientation with people that I did not even know. So that's how we bonded and we brought ourselves to the international student office every day. So we brought lunch together. Everyone brought a little bit of this and brought a little bit of that. We brought, drinks, we brought snacks, we brought lunch, and then we had that together as a friend group in the international student office. So, everyone who got a problem, who's struggling with something, who needs to just hang out, they would just come to the international student office. I may be a little bit biased because, that's I was the president of my club, but I truly love that place because everyone was so caring, friendly, there was no discrimination or like just, like the distance between people to people. So I just love that place. Definitely a lot of culture shock at the time. I was in Seattle at first, not at Santa Ana, but like I was dealing with a lot of struggling and culture shock, even though, you see my English and then my pronunciation was fine and my speaking was fine, but I was still dealing with a little culture shocks. For example, American people, they would be very straightforward. Hey, you do this, you do that, don't do this, don't do that. And like Asian culture would try to say it a very mild way that not to hurt the feelings. But when I got here, you did this, this is wrong. Don't do that again. That's very straightforward. But now, living in the US for about 5 years now, I'm getting used to it and I really love it because how people were so straightforward. And then I know what to fix on myself and what to improve. So I really like it. That helped me a lot. That was just a little bit of shock at the beginning. But after that, I feel like people didn't have any, like, meanings towards it. They just like genuinely wanted to help and to fix things because that's how, organization works. If something is wrong, they have to say it so that they can fix it as fast as possible. So, yeah, I loved it. People are so smiley. You walk past someone on the street, or like I went on the bus, and then I was like 16 at the time, and I was talking to someone who was like 80, like a lady who was old at the time, and we chit chat on the bus, and then it was very fun, like having that feeling to someone who's strange to you, especially on a bad day, that someone is so nice to you. It's a very good compliment, at the end of the day. Yes, I definitely would recommend Santa Ana College to other international students as well. Because I feel like Santa Ana College is a good one, but people just don't know how to um actually leverage the resources that we had over there. One of the program that I went to was, the honors program, and I was very surprised that a lot of students was not notified by that because it was the program that got me to UCI that was, like basically that guaranteed me over there because for the honors program you got to do more work. I mean, like just a little bit of that, like you did more research, you do a little bit more effort, you put more time into it, but it's at the end of the day, it's worth it, and the honors program would be something that I definitely recommend for other international students. The other thing would be, like on campus club involvement. As I said, any clubs, not the International Student Association, would be the student government, would be a go-to place for me. Every single school has a student government. And Santa Ana College did a very good job in, like leveraging their student government because we would have weekly meeting with the vice president, who was Dr. Hubbard at the time, and I was able to learn a lot from her. So I definitely recommend people coming to Santa Ana College to check them out. First, definitely the honors program, and second, definitely the student government. Our professor at Santa Ana College, they were very caring. On the top of my head, I'm thinking about my music professor right now, who was very caring. He was very flexible with any schedules or any problems that I had at the time. Like if I want extra credits, he would give me very, additional opportunities for me to go to concerts just for me to get that extra credit to get an A because he know that I wanted an A so bad. And I came to, every professor in their office hour, just talk to them about what I'm aiming to, what is my goal for this course. And then they would give me extra opportunities or just be very flexible about me achieving that goal. So I think that would be something that I appreciate the most about professor at our college. I would say my dream, I'm passionate about love. I'm very passionate about love studying, relationship building, and I love being caring. So my biggest dream would be spreading the knowledge about love for women worldwide to actually control their relationships, to actually control their future of being loved or not loved. That's my biggest dream, especially for Vietnamese women, because I was born there and I know the society, I know the prejudices over there, the inequalities, and I would just love to bring up the knowledge and the experience that I have in the US to bring back over there to actually help my fellow Vietnamese women.